One, two, one, two. All right, let's roll.
Welcome. You're listening to the Saddle Up Podcast,
where we discuss everything related to UTRGV athletics, past or present. We'll catch up with old teammates, friends, and take you down memory lane
with exclusive interviews.
This is the Saddle Up Podcast,
the voice of your covered walkway streets.
So dope.
This is gonna be awesome.
Stay tuned for new episodes every week.
From Bronx Village to the Fieldhouse,
we'll cover it all.
Hell yeah, dude. Carpe diem.
So saddle up and let's go.
Let's go. Saddle up, partner.
Matt, man, introduce our awesome guest today. He's from my hometown, Brownsville, Texas, and this guy is Mr. Brownsville. That's all I got to say.
City commissioner. He's the head football coach at your alma mater. And I want to talk to him to see if he would play Uncle Gico if Uncle Gico played for him. And he's also the athletic director for St. Joe's, which your son just graduated from. Shout out to Abe.
That's right.
Mr. Tino Villareal. How are you, sir?
Yeah.
There we go. Thank you. Thanks for having me on the show.
Yeah, Tino, man, we're very, very happy to have you on. We have a short time together on this podcast, but we want to cover a lot, because you've been through a lot. You've meant a lot to a lot of people in the community. And we happen to be, we happen to work together and we went to school together. So there's a lot of history there, but there are a lot of things that we haven't spoken about. A lot of things that I'm curious about. And I told Matt, I said, Matt, I'm telling you, this dude is Mr. Brownsville. He's going to give us the scoop. All right. And
I'll do my best.
And as much as you can give us. We don't want any, we don't want cheese men. That's not what we're here for. Right, Matt?
No. Definitely, we want all the cheese mate. We want all the cheese mate. We want all the cheese mate. So let's talk about, did you grow up in Brownsville? Kind of give us a quick overview of your background, because I want to talk about, you had a guy that played for you that is now signed with the Vaqueros, right, for football. So that's got to be exciting. But before we get into that, let's talk about who you are, Tino, from how did you get to where you're at?
Yep.
Sure. That's a long story, but we'll cover it briefly. I was born in Monterrey, Mexico, and moved with my family, with my parents, to Brownsville when I was 3 years old.
Okay.
So my memory only goes back towards Brownsville. I don't remember being born, and I don't remember living for 3 years in Monterrey, Mexico, right?
Yeah.
So I think, raised in Brownsville my whole life, private school, St. Mary's, St. Joseph Academy, my whole life. Graduated from St. Joe, class of 1999. Stuck around UT Brownsville, now UTRGV Vaqueros, to study business administration, and then moved up to Austin. Started working up there for an organization on leadership development called the National Hispanic Institute. And I traveled across the country and actually across the world, recruiting Hispanic students on leadership development. Eventually, while I studied here, let's go back, right? How did I get this coaching, right? When I studied here, my head football coach told me, while you're taking classes here, you should come work and coach the junior high. You're a pretty good lineman. You should come be the line coach for a middle school program.
Who was that coach, Tino?
Elvis Hernandez.
Mr. Elvis Hernandez, man. Rest in peace. Great
Elvis Hernandez,
individual.
rest in peace. Just a great guy. Got me into the business of coaching. And I really enjoyed my time coaching, right? When I moved to Austin, I think that's why I moved to Austin, to work kind of coaching, but just in a different, not in a football field, coaching on a leadership standpoint is kind of what I was doing. And then I kind of missed it. So I started volunteer coaching in Austin for just a little bit, and I missed it. But I had to kind of move on to the next phase of my life, which was I studied business. So let's open a business. So I moved to Brownsville to open Tino's Seafood Restaurants. I ended up franchising and had 12 of those within the 2-year span, and overwhelmed with a lot of debt to banks and a lot of places to go visit. We had restaurants in San Antonio, 12 of them all over, stretching the entire Rio Grande Valley, South Padre Island. And when I had the opportunity to have someone buy me out, I sold the restaurants. And I decided to get back into coaching. So I started coaching again at St. Joe. and volunteering my time, eventually kind of just deciding, you know what, I think this is my calling. This is what I want to do. Took it very serious. 2015, I became the head football coach. 2016, I became the athletic director, and the rest is history.
That's
Hey,
fantastic.
I have to tell you, I went to eat at your seafood place.
I've been to eat there too.
Back in the day.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was yours, obviously, but I've eaten there in San Antonio. Yeah, I've eaten there.
That's right, man. It was pretty good, Tino. It was pretty
really
good. But you, like you said, you found your calling.
That's
And
right.
and just let's kind of talk about that a little bit.
I have one question before you get to that.
Oh, no, absolutely.
Now, y'all didn't play together, correct?
No, we didn't. I got to watch G play football and basketball. So
So you were obviously younger than G, right? And so what?
Here we go.
I want to know.
Here we go. Here's the question. Yeah.
Like G, G's one of my best friends, and he parades around like he was not given a fair shake at playing quarterback, right, at a collegiate level. And that's why he chose football, right? But
I chose basketball. Chose basketball.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
What kind of, you're a head football coach, right? So like let's get down and let's break down G's game. Like, what is it that was G really that great? Was he that phenomenal? Or was he like Keanu Reeves in the what is it, the substitutes, or what is that movie with
the replacements?
The replacement, yeah. First of all, Tino, you don't have to answer any of the ridiculous questions.
I'm gonna answer it.
I know you are.
I'm gonna answer it from my perspective, because you have to understand, I was a lot younger, right? And so when you really think about that question, I would venture to say that G was like Keanu Reeves as a quarterback. I'm kidding, but I think his basketball presence overshadowed him as a football player. I really do. I think he was a stellar athlete, but G, since early on, honestly, like growing up, we would go watch games, and I would remember thinking that it was crazy to watch my high school scoring over 100 points, and G was responsible for over 30 to 40 of those.
Were you in the stands when he scored like 9 points in like 4 seconds?
I was in the stands. I was a big fan. We were young kids. We would pack that dome.
Oh man, it was awesome.
Basketball was a big deal. Not that it's not anymore, but it was just different times, right? There were not that many high schools. It was not that stretched out. Brownsville had fewer games to go look at on Friday nights, and so the dome would get packed. I remember that. So, looking at G play basketball that way, football, he was part of a decent team, but in basketball he was part of a stellar team, and in both he played a big role. But when you're part of a stellar team and you're the guy leading scorer, draining threes, you look at football and you think, well, he was okay. Even though
he told us he could have won state. Like, they could have won state in football. And,
This is not a podcast about me and Uncle Jico trying to win state. Okay. I understand. And
I got one more question. Do you have a G Garza autograph? Like from when you were a kid? Did he ever sign anything that you asked him for besides like
that's one thing that escaped me. Like, I need one.
We'll make that happen.
It's different.
I know
it's different now.
Let's get you an autograph.
It is different. It is different now. I'm washed up. Maybe we can backdate it, and pretend it was when I didn't know how to sign any kind of signatures or anything, but I'll do my best, and I appreciate that question, man. I understand what you're trying to do, but it's not about me. It's about the man. It's about the man. It's about the man, the myth, and the legend, Tino Villareal. Tino, what I was getting to, man, and it kind of along the same lines of remembering those days back, when we were, because I had the same guy. I looked up to guys, the way you looked up to football players, basketball players, track runners. I mean, we had that, right? You've had so many players, man, that you've coached. What are kind of the things that stand out about those players' characteristics, about the way that they kind of handled themselves under your tutelage, under your leadership? What are kind of like, trying to help the kids now, right?
Yeah.
We're always trying to help those kids now. Some of the best players and some of the best characteristics that you've seen, that you've coached, how could you help others, man, by reminiscing and understand, so they can understand what it takes to be a great player and a great person? Can you reminisce a little bit on
Sure.
your journey?
What's cool is that I've been reminiscing all day today because I had Kai Money come visit me at the office, and we got
I literally was going to ask, who was
Yeah.
better, Kai Money or G Garza at the quarterback position? Like literally,
That's not even a question, man.
Shout out
It's
to
not
Kai
even a
Money,
question.
who's becoming a dentist. Like I used to coach him and train him. Like
Yeah.
I love Philip Money, all those guys.
Yeah.
Like I
Well,
was gonna ask.
Philip and
Yeah.
Kai were just here, and I can tell you that there's a lot of I've been blessed and fortunate to see a lot of great players play at St. Joe, not just football, every sport that we have. And what's funny is it sounds so complicated, but sports is actually so easy. It really is. If you really if you put your heart and soul into something you really want to do. So if I get a kid that says I want to play D1, but their actions don't resemble their dream, then they're not going to ever have they're not going to have a shot. Now, there's kids that come to me and say I want to play D1, and their actions show that they really want to be D1, and most likely then you assess as a coach, do you have the talent level? What kind of D1? Are you D1, D2? And not because of your work ethic, but because of your talent level. But what they all have in common, and what every kid has in common, whether they're D1 or not D1 or want to play at the next level or not, is the greatest players we've ever had are self-disciplined. You don't need to motivate them. You don't need to encourage them. They're the first ones in the locker room. They're the last ones out. They're the ones getting the extra rep. They're the guys that are constantly trying to get in the doors on Sundays when the school's closed to try to figure out how to take some shots or catch some footballs or use a drugs machine. I mean, they're 24/7, 365. There is no such thing as a holiday. There is no such thing as it's raining, it's too cold, it's too hot. No matter what they do, they're gonna master their craft day in and day out. And as a coach, your job is to not kind of screw that up. Your job is to kind of, not overcoach that and not overcomplicate that for them. It's to, let them just kind of unfold, let their dreams kind of go through that and figure out how to best utilize them so that they could uplift the supporting cast, because the supporting cast is just as important to the team, if not more important than your talent. Because you can be the best player ever, but if you're not playing with other kids that you've made upgraded their level of play, you're not going to make it too far. And I've also realized that the further you make it in the playoffs, the more attention and the more wins you get, the more exposure that is out there for you. That doesn't mean you can't go out there and go to tournaments and play at club teams and then go to camps, right? That gets your name out there. But what really gets your name out there is your ability to win games, your ability to motivate your teammates so that you are part of a good team, whatever sport that may be.
Can you imagine the NIL bag that Kai would have got had UTR football would have been around then?
Yeah, 100%.
He would have been straight money, like no pun intended. He was a big thing in high school. Great kid, awesome family. I love the Monies, but Kai was something else, man. He was something else as an athlete. So I remember coaching him at Spurs camps. Yeah, that's where I first met him and Philip.
But
basketball.
You coached him in basketball?
Yeah, he would come to the Spurs camps during the summer. And
no wonder he chose football.
Yeah, no wonder why he was like, I'm going to go to UT, Coach P. Like, I'm done with basketball.
Thanks for motivating him to stay in basketball.
So,
but appreciate that, Matt.
So let's talk about, you've got an athlete that just signed with UTRGV, right? Let's talk about you were talking about the discipline that it takes to stay on. Like, talk to us about your athlete that just signed with UTRGV in that inaugural season.
And just to say, put it out. I mean, and I know a lot of people locally know this, but he had two athletes go Division
There's
One.
two. Okay.
One of them signed with El Paso, UT El Paso, but another one is going to go and take his talents to UTRGV. You want to talk a little bit about that, Tino?
Sure. Well, let me first tell you that I just had my first experience. I even though he's not my child, I just had a parent experience because Claudio Torres, the player for UTRGV, asked me to go help him move into his dorm this past Sunday.
Oh, nice.
So I went out there.
Wow.
I went out there with mom and dad, right?
Yep.
And we were out there going to Target. We bought some drawers, some TV table, a TV.
I love it.
We were there. Yeah, I was there with a screwdriver. Like, where does A1 fit with table B with the screw that's J6?
But that's such a great story because he looked at you as someone, not just a football coach, but someone that he almost wanted to impress. Like, hey, look, coach, like I'm a Division I football player. And
we loved it.
Kind of,
and the cool part about it is that his roommate is Ty Bush, Coach Bush's son. So
wow, okay.
So they became roommates. They have an awesome dorm. After we left it, pretty amazing. We went and bought him everything from lamps to snacks to water to. I thought literally I was going to just check his dorm out, get a good meal out of it, and wish him the best.
Right back with the parents. Exactly.
That was an 8-hour experience of going to Costco, Target, putting things together. But you know what? I was very happy to go through that.
I love that.
You're about to go through that experience, right? Just to putting your kid in a dorm, and putting your kid in somewhere new. Claudio Torres is a phenomenal athlete. He is a superstar in every regard. Watch his film. UTRGV, I think, got a
steal
group of 5 guy. Like, he's literally a guy that could play in the power conferences. I really believe that, and I think that his work ethic, and he's gonna make his own name over there, just like he made.
What position, coach?
He's a slot receiver.
Okay.
And he can play safety, and he can return kicks and punts. He could actually he almost do it all. He scored 40 touchdowns for us this year, even though everyone knew that that's who we were gonna go to. And
couldn't stop him. I love it. Sounds like I'm going Chico back in the day, right? So,
yeah, he is awesome, and UTRGV got themselves a great one.
I love it. Shout out to Claudio, and we're going to wish him all the best. We're definitely going to be there for that first game. I know G's got season tickets, and I'm just going to ask him for a ticket so I can go. So
maybe I'm gonna sell it to you. I'm still trying to figure out.
Knowing after this episode, you will
absolutely.
Yeah. So we got about 5 minutes left. I know G, you got some questions, but I think you answered my one question that I had was if you had to compare or is Kai Money the closest thing that you've ever seen to Uncle Gico in St. Joe's Bloodhound football program?
Well,
I would say the closest thing I've ever seen to G Garza at St. Joe would be his son, AJ.
Yeah, that right there.
They look
identical,
shooting
it, everything.
Shoot identical, and they're both class act dudes.
Let me tell you, man,
for sure. AJ's taller than you now, right, G?
We don't talk about that, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
We're going straight.
Sore spot.
Little spot in my heart right there, man.
Yeah.
It's one of those things, Tino, and you know it, man. When because you've coached kids all the way from when they're 5th, 6th grade, and then you see them grow up and they're seniors and they start blowing up to you, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, they're 6'3" now with 6'2" now, and whatever pounds. And I'm like, same thing happened in my kitchen, man. Same thing, man. I'm like, why are you blowing up to me, bub? What's up with that?
Hey, and Tino, he can't do anything about it because he doesn't have 3 ACLs. Like he's not gonna wrestle AJ in the kitchen. So
I got one. I got one ACL, baby.
That's it.
That's all we need. That's all we need. All right. Tino, man, thank you for sharing your memories, your story. Obviously you've been a staple at St. Joe.
Yeah.
Now you're doing some great things for the city as well. And obviously you're gonna have to come back to talk about that side of your career. But I have right now, man, Wing Barn takes care of us with some gift cards for our guests. But we have to give you a little deeper questions. All right.
We're gonna put you to the fryer.
We're gonna put you to the
fryer.
Yeah, we're gonna go deep in the fryer with Wing Barn. Okay.
Yep.
Thanks to Bobby and Anna and Wing Barn for hooking us up with gift cards.
It's dang good.
It's dang good. All right, Tino, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. First question, man. If you had to listen to one song for the rest of your life, what song would it be?
I would probably say Feliz Navidad.
Wow, dude.
Year round, just listen to Christmas music. Okay.
Like Mariah Carey. Mariah Carey.
By the way, I'm kidding. But I had to say that. I had to say that because when I worked for that leadership organization, we used to go do a program over in Austin College, the Kangaroos over in Sherman.
Oh, in Sherman, yeah.
And we used to put I'm talking 20 years ago dorms. They used to have those alarm clocks, the ones that you plug in that have the radio.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, dude.
And there was a station in Sherman, Texas that played Feliz Navidad repeat 24/7, and it drove me completely insane. So no, Feliz Navidad would not be
the song. Yeah.
That is not the song.
I don't know how you I don't know how you hype up your football players, guys. Like turn off Feliz Navidad. Let's go after
I honestly, I think I would probably choose some of the longest songs in the world because that means they go through different versions of the song. So if I had to choose one song, probably maybe like November Rain, I think would be a good song.
Good one.
I think because it goes through different phases.
Or even it's fast and it's like emotional and or even
Bohemian Rhapsody because I could listen to that.
Oh man. All right. Yes. I'm going to go ahead and pick for you Bohemian Rhapsody.
Bohemian Rhapsody.
I like
it. It's a classic. Right. It's a classic.
Of course.
We're adding it to the Saddle Up Spotify soundtrack. All right.
We are.
All right. Second question. What would be the title of a movie based on your career, and who would you want to play in that movie?
Like who would
play you? Who would be Tino in that movie?
Oh man, the title would probably be, what's the name of that guy? He's a coach. He's a the show, the guy with the mustache that he's funny in England. He's a soccer coach, football coach.
Ted Lasso.
Ted Lasso, baby.
Lasso. Yeah. So what's funny is my trainer,
Jason Sudeikis.
She tells me, you're like Ted Lasso, and I've never seen that show. But what's funny about that is like,
you have to watch it.
I saw one episode. I'm like, I don't know if I'm Ted Lasso.
You gotta watch it.
But I think the title of the show or the movie. It's a movie.
It's a movie.
It's a series.
It's a series.
Yeah,
it would probably be
or the title of the movie that you would star in. Yeah, that they would write about.
The title would be called Underdog.
Okay.
Wow.
That would be the title of the movie.
I love it.
And I would I don't know. I think who would play me?
I see a Vin Diesel. I see Vin Diesel.
No. Yes. I think a good me. Even though he does a lot of funny stuff, but he would just be a good personality. I'm not good with names of the guy that.
Describe him.
The guy from God dang it, the movie with Will Smith that he's a dating guy. Like he's a guy who like
Hitch.
Hitch.
Yes. Okay.
Who's the guy the guy that he hooks up with the hot girl?
Oh, oh,
I can see his face.
I can see his face too. Yeah, we're gonna have to come back. Yes.
We're gonna look it up, and when we post your episode, we'll put it in there.
Or somebody leave it in the comments. Yes.
I'm gonna hold on. I can chat GPT this and just put
No, he's the
people
king
in Hitch, the movie. All right. Here you go. Kevin James.
Kevin James.
Oh yes, Kevin James.
Okay.
I would love Kevin James to star in Underdog.
Okay.
Kevin James.
Wow. An Underdog, based on the Tino Villareal.
Isn't Kevin James?
He did a football movie.
He did. He was Sean Payton or Sean.
When Sean Payton got kicked out of the league. Yeah.
He's mall cop. He's the mall cop.
He's the mall cop. He's the mall cop. That's my guy.
Yes, yes, dude.
Right,
yes.
awesome.
All right.
Kevin James.
Deep in the front. All right. Last question. If you could go back in time, what age would you be, and what would you do? But you could go back in time for just one day.
One day.
Go back one day. What age would that be?
I would go back in time right when Tesla first hit the stock market, and I would dump as much money as I could gather from all of my family, friends, and everybody, and just try to own as much Tesla stock as possible.
Go all in, man. And that's what you do. You go all in with everything you do. And man, we really appreciate you taking the time, carving out some time, man, to join us on Saddle Up. We know you're a busy guy, so we really appreciate it.
No,
I
man.
got one question.
Go for it.
I got one question, and this is going to put you to the fryer, and then you're going to answer. We're going to be out, right?
Okay.
If you had to give the ball the last quarter,
oh gosh,
to G Garza as your quarterback, or Kai Money as your quarterback, who are you giving the ball to?
I would bench both of them and give it to number 84, Claudio Torres, who's a UTV vaquero. V's up, baby.
V's up, baby.
All right, Tino, thanks so much for joining this week. You're welcome back anytime you want, and we're so thankful. God bless you for everything you're doing in the Brownsville community, by helping out those kids, by coaching the kids, by being in the city council and getting those programs done for, benefiting the city. So, and I feel for you, because you're G's friend, which is hard enough on anybody, right? Trust me. But I'm really thankful that you're a friend of the show now. So I'm so glad that you were able to take the time and join us this week.
That's awesome. Well, thank you guys so much, man. And thank you for the work you're doing. I can tell you that I've become good friends because of politics with Chase, your athletic director, and he's a really, really good guy.
He is.
We're going to need to do another one of these, because I just recently got appointed a director for the Rio Grande Valley Coaches Association. And part of what we're trying to do is we do an East-West football all-star game in January. And we're going to try to do it at the new Vaquero Stadium.
Oh, we can make that happen.
We're working with Chase.
Yeah,
sure. And then Travis Bush. Well, we can't say much more about him than people who just meet him. Great guy. I think UTRGV is in the right direction, and you guys bringing this together so that we get the Bronc community and the Scorpion community of back.
That's right. That's right.
You know what you and Coach Bush have in common?
What's that?
Both of y'all just cut G. We're out, guys. Till next week.
Like, we weren't supposed to come up with something this clean. Like, something happened.